Prime Minister, you've been in power for 28 days, but 10 of those politics was paused. In 18 days, then, you announced £45 billion of tax cuts without setting a fiscal framework. It precipitated a £65 billion emergency bond buying programme by the Bank of England to protect pension funds. The pound tanked. 1,000 mortgage deals withdrawn from the markets as interest rates expectations spiked. You established a 33-point lead for Labour in the polls, and now the lady not for turning has announced a massive U-turn on a policy. This is surely the worst start of any Prime Minister.
Well, let's remember what we were facing 4 weeks ago.
But do you accept that it's been a bad start?
We were facing families having energy bills of up to £6,000. We were facing inflation that could have been 5% higher as a result of those energy prices. And we were facing a global economic slowdown. And what we have done as a government is acted decisively. We've acted to put in place the energy price guarantee, which has already come in. It means that families, typical family, won't be paying more than around £2,500.
Prime Minister, we've covered a lot of this on Sky News. My question was, do you accept you've had a rocky start?
Well, what I am saying is that we have acted decisively in the face of very, very difficult international circumstances where Putin has been perpetrating the war in Ukraine that has caused an energy price.
Let me put it another way. I'm going to have to, because I haven't got very long and I've got so many questions for you. Let me put it another way. Do you think your personal authority has been enhanced or reduced in your short time in office?
What I have done is I have delivered in very difficult circumstances for the British people. People were worried that they would struggle with fuel bills this winter.
Rising in mortgage rates.
People were worried,
and
if you remember, that they would be struggling with their energy bills, that businesses would go out of business. We have dealt with that issue. We had to act quickly. We had to do that mini budget in the circumstances to be able to deal with slowing economic growth and with energy bills.
So you don't accept you've had a bad start, and you don't accept that your leadership has been troubled in the start of your premiership. Just to be clear, you don't accept that question?
I've always been very clear, and I was clear during the leadership election, that we are facing very tough economic times, and it would be difficult, and we would have to make difficult decisions, and we would have to act.
You also said you'd stick to decisions, and you U-turned.
Well, what I did is I took the decision very rapidly on the 45p rate that it was becoming a distraction from the core policies we were delivering. Core policies on the energy price guarantee, on keeping taxes low during the economic slowdown. Those were the priorities. Frankly, the 45p wasn't a priority policy. And I listened to people, and I think there's absolutely no shame, Beth, in a leader listening to people and responding. And that's the kind of person I am. And I've been totally honest and upfront with people. But everything I've done as Prime Minister is focused on helping people get through what is a very difficult winter and very difficult circumstances and putting our country on a stronger footing in the future. That is what I think about, that is what I'm doing.
Prime Minister, you say you listened, but don't you remember being warned?
Well, I hear all kinds of, advice and warnings, and, people are suggesting what should be done. What we have as a government is a very clear. What I have is a very clear plan.
Rishi Sunak warned in August that unfunded spending commitments could force up inflation and interest rates and increase borrowing costs. Rishi was right, wasn't he? And many Tories look at the wreckage of the first month and think that they chose the wrong person.
Well, I don't agree with that analysis, because the energy price guarantee package we put in is actually expected to reduce inflation.
We've talked about that before.
It's expected
but inflation is still double digits, and you've got to be worried about that.
It's expected to reduce inflation by up to 5 points. What we know, and this has been corroborated independently, what we know is the package we're putting in is deflationary.
OK. Prime Minister, it seems to me that there is a bit of a crisis of leadership for you already at the heart of this. It's not just former cabinet ministers like Gove, Patel or Shapps criticising policies forcing you to a U-turn. It's loyalists too. Nadine Dorries, a loyalist who backed you, a key backer in your leadership campaign, now saying you don't have a mandate for what you're trying to do, you should go to the country. That's someone that backed you. You must be worried about that.
What people want is a government who is going to deal with the immediate issues that we face. And the immediate issue was the very, very high energy bills. We've dealt with that, but also help our country get onto a strong footing. And Beth, I've never claimed that this would be easy. I've never claimed that this wouldn't be tough. But we are facing very tough
These are loyalists.
Circumstances.
These are people that back you, saying that, she said that you threw the Chancellor under the bus. Fingers crossed things improve and settle down. That's a loyalist. If Liz wants a whole new mandate, she must take it to the country. That's Nadine Dorries. I mean, the public will see that and think, wow, if the Prime Minister's backers don't back her anymore, we're in trouble.
What I'm thinking about every day is how to deliver for people in these tough circumstances. And we face these huge challenges, which other countries face too.
But you have lost control, haven't you? And that's why you had to U-turn. You've lost control of your party.
We made the decision. We made the decision on the 45p rate.
You couldn't get it through.
But also because of the reaction of the public.
You accept it's because you couldn't get it through then?
I took feedback and I listened from the public and from the party.
You were told by Sir Graham you couldn't get it through.
It wasn't a core part of our package. And what I am focused on is delivering people on energy bills.
Were you told you couldn't get it through the backbenches?
Delivering on taxes.
Were you told you couldn't get it through the backbenches?
Beth, you're asking me about a decision we've already made, a policy that we're no longer...
Leadership, because it matters. I'm asking you because it matters, because if you want to run the country, you have to be able to get votes through Parliament, so you need your MPs to back you. That's why I'm asking.
And what the leadership is about, and what my leadership is about, is doing the right thing. Okay. Delivering for people who are struggling with their energy bills. Delivering for businesses who want to invest in this country, because ultimately what I'm about is about getting to a stronger United Kingdom that is a high-wage, high-growth country. And that will take difficult decisions, and it will take political discussion.
On difficult decisions, just one more question. The policy decided by the last Prime Minister to uprate benefits with inflation. You don't seem minded to do that.
We haven't made a decision on that issue yet. My priority, as I've said...
So you decide. I mean, you seem minded... You're the Prime Minister. You said you're going to uprate pensions by inflation. You're the Prime Minister. I'm saying to you, you don't seem minded to do that.
We haven't made a decision on that issue yet.
Well, you could decide. You could say to me now, yes, I've decided I think it should be uplifted by inflation.
Well, I can assure you that any announcement would be made to Parliament, not on Sky News,
Well, you made the announcement on the pensions uplift, not to Parliament, didn't you, the triple lock?
Well, that was a commitment that we made in our manifesto.
Well, there's lots of commitments in the manifesto. I think voters are just tired of a lack of honest answers. I'm just saying to you, you're not minded to do it.
I've been very honest about the challenges we face. I've been very honest about the solutions, including the energy price guarantee, keeping taxes low, getting our economy going, getting things like roads built. That's what I'm focused on. Of course, we will make the decision on the benefits uprating in due course, but that decision has not yet been made.
What do you want to do, or you're generally ambivalent?
I'm not ambivalent. I am focused on the issue at hand, which has been sorting out the energy crisis, making sure we're putting the UK on a firmer footing, making sure we're getting our economy growing. That's what I've been focused on.
Final question, I've run out of time. Do you have a mortgage?
I do.
And do you have an issue about remortgaging?
Well, I do have a mortgage, yes, I do.
The reason I'm asking you is that lots of people are now facing a spike in interest rates, and if you have to remortgage on a variable rate, you could be facing hundreds of pounds in additional costs. So I'm just asking you, is this, as Prime Minister, something you're personally having to think about as well?
Well, the issue with interest rates is we have had historically low interest rates for a number of years. I understand people are concerned and worried. What we are seeing globally is we are seeing a rise in interest rates. So the Federal Reserve, the bank in America, has put up its interest rates. Ultimately, interest rates are a matter for the Bank of England. They're not decided by politicians, and I think that's the right approach.
OK, Prime Minister, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.